Hey guys, my name is Zeno Lancaster. I'm the owner of Lancaster Law Firm. I'm coming today with a special live. We usually have them middle of the week in the mornings. I missed last week. It was a crazy week. We had people out sick with, all sorts of colds, flus, COVID, all that sort of thing. And so we were very busy. It was also just the end of the month, beginning of the last month of the year. So just busy. But coming today to talk to you about due diligence. What does that mean? And some of you might say, I know what due diligence means. I get questions from realtors on due diligence multiple times a week. So I hope you'll watch this. We might be talking about some things that you haven't thought about with due diligence. And you're going to get these questions from your clients. You may even have them yourself. And I think this will help you navigate. We're under contract while we're trying to get to closing to help you navigate that process and hopefully keep your contracts together instead of terminating so quickly. Buyers get cold feet. Doesn't take a lot to scare them away. So I'm going to talk some strategies on how to keep people under contract without them running away too quickly. Okay. Again, I'm Zeno Lancaster. We have 3 offices in 3 different counties: Buncombe, Asheville, North Carolina; Haywood, Canton, North Carolina; and Hendersonville, North Carolina. To get you guys signed, we have a large staff, multiple paralegals, in-house title abstracting, that sort of thing. So if you haven't used us before, reach out. We're happy to help you. We can get closings done as fast as you need them done. That's something you won't find with any law firms that I know of besides ours. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 out there, but good luck finding them. If you need them done quickly, we're your people. If you need them done well, we're your people. So again, back to due diligence. So due diligence, I get sellers asking me, due diligence is up Thursday. Sellers, due diligence really has nothing to do with you beyond locking in the fact that you're going to get that earnest money or you're legally entitled to it if the buyer tries to back out after due diligence period. Otherwise, sellers, you don't get to back out. You're under contract to sell that home and you have terms in that contract you're supposed to meet, okay? You have until settlement date to meet those. So let's say you're supposed to repair a deck. Unless you've put in writing or an addendum or something like that, I will get this deck repaired by X date. You only have to have it repaired by the closing date. Now, you do have to have it repaired by the closing date or you're in breach of contract. But you have until settlement date typically to get your terms, your payoffs ordered, that sort of thing, okay? And for you to be ready. Buyers are a little different. Due diligence period is for buyers. It is to give the buyers time to do their due diligence. And due diligence is important. Let's get inspections done of the home. Do I want a survey done? I need time for that. That sort of thing. Is my money ready? Is my lending ready? Am I approved and good to go with my lender? That's all due diligence you have to do. And so you need that time to put all of that together to see if you really do want to buy this home, really can buy this home. And if you can't, you want to fall out during due diligence so you can get your earnest money back. Now, this is becoming a bigger deal the past year or two. I mean, most of my practice due diligence money was $200, $500. We're seeing 20 grand now. So, because it's so competitive, okay? Sellers want money. They want skin in the game. They want to know they're going to come out with something if they go under contract with you. Because in their defense, guys, we're seeing a lot of terminations too. We've got investors coming from California and Dubai and everything else. They're going to put contracts in on 5 properties. They're going to terminate 4 of them. So you can understand why sellers might want to see higher due diligence these days as well. But keep in mind, that is a period for your buyers to do their due diligence. Now, that doesn't mean everything, that doesn't mean the buyers, here's the kicker. Here's what we're seeing confusion on. Zeno, do the sellers have to fix this before the end of due diligence? There's a title issue. There's a problem with they said they would repair something. It's not done yet, that sort of thing. Now, don't get confused with sellers, the deck's broken, and I've asked the sellers to repair it, and we're waiting to hear back from the sellers. If you haven't heard back from the sellers and you want that deck repaired and you don't want to pay for it, you might want to back out during due diligence because they're not going to repair it, at least as far as you know. And if you go past due diligence and they haven't responded to your deck repair requests, you're now locked in, okay? But if they've said they'll do something, if buyers in writing have said they'll do something, not a text message, not a phone call, they've signed something in writing saying they'll do something and they'll do it by the end of due diligence, then sure, you can check on that. Otherwise, they have until settlement date. Due diligence is for you to make sure that you're okay, you're happy with what they've said in writing that they'll do. If you're not happy with that by the end of due diligence, you better be throwing in that termination at 4:59 p.m. at least before 5 p.m. on the end of due diligence, okay? Send that out. We're terminating during our due diligence period. We're not happy with the responses you've given us on repairs. We're not happy with how the wind blew today, whatever. But what it is not is seller signed an agreement saying they would repair the deck. They would leave the furniture in the home. I wanted that couch. And they said they would convey it as part of the home. It's in our contract. It's in our addendum. And it's not in there today, and due diligence ends tomorrow. Well, technically, guys, look, it is a problem. We need that couch back in there. They've likely took it out, and they owe it back. They owe you to bring it back. Somebody's goofed, or there's a little funny business going on. That couch needs to be in there. But you don't have to make them get it in there before end of due diligence. You are protected because that would be a seller breach. And due diligence is only to govern the buyer. So the seller technically has until settlement date to get that couch back in there. Now, it's a red flag. Sellers, are you going to bring that couch back? Why'd you take it? We need to be doing all of that. But they have until settlement date to get it back in there, and it needs to be in the same condition, all that, of course. But it's not part of due diligence. So I get the question, Zeno, due diligence ends tomorrow, and they haven't brought the couch back. They said they would give us the couch. They haven't brought it back. Due diligence ends tomorrow. Do I need to back out? Zeno, the deck's not repaired yet. They said they would repair it by closing. It's not repaired yet. Do I need to back out? Due diligence ends tomorrow. Two different things, guys. If the seller doesn't do something that they've signed in writing that they'll do, that's a breach of contract, even after due diligence. Unless you specified or something in writing, something odd. Unless you guys are drafting legal documents in language without asking your attorneys, frankly, and unless you drafted something saying it'll be done by X date, they have until settlement date. And they have to do it or it's a breach of contract. Meaning, if we're after due diligence period and the seller's breach, you're still legally entitled to get back earnest money, due diligence, and frankly, sue them. And we can talk about that if that ever comes up. But it's not something you have to have the sellers do before end of due diligence. What I don't want you guys doing and your clients doing is saying, I really wanted that couch, and you know what? I'm done with these people, and they don't have it back by 5 p.m. tomorrow. That's my end of due diligence. I'm terminating because that's the only way I can get my earnest money back. All of that is wrong. The seller would be in breach of contract. We don't have to terminate by the end of due diligence to make sure they get that couch back in there if they've said they would in writing, okay? So you have more time to negotiate that out, and odds are it's going to rectify itself one way or the other, and odds are your contract's going to stay in place. Everyone's going to close. Everyone's going to ultimately be happy. They're going to get over the little principled argument, most likely. Most likely the couch is going to go back in there, or some sort of settlement happens. If they don't want a settlement, they can enforce a breach of contract claim against the seller. And meaning the seller won't be able to relist their property. I can talk to the buyers all about that. So the seller's going to be obligated to do what they said they would do in writing, because they're going to have to sit on their property otherwise, even if they feel like they didn't breach, because there are things you can file to make that happen. So anyway, again, before your buyers back out during due diligence, ask why they're doing it. If the wind blew wrong, in other words, you can back out for no reason, fine. If they just decided they don't like the home or they haven't heard back on a repair request, fine. But if we're waiting on the sellers to do something they've said they'll do in writing by closing or just without a date specified, they have until settlement date. And we really shouldn't be backing out during due diligence based on that, unless there's some other reason, well, I got another house I like or something. That makes sense. Then you're basically doing it because the wind blew wrong, right? But if it's solely based on the sellers not having performed something they need to do by closing, we don't have to back out during due diligence because you're still legally entitled to get the earnest money, due diligence back, and they have more time. We have time to sort that out. The buyers are at no risk on the due diligence and earnest money. If it goes by past due diligence date and it's a seller obligation that's not being fulfilled. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Comment below with questions, comments. Have you guys seen this come up? I saw it come up recently this week. It comes up quite often, frankly. Zeno, we need, they haven't done this. Do we need to back out? We got to know by 5 today, by the way, or we're going to lose. No, that's all wrong. If sellers haven't done something they promised they would do in writing, relax, take a breath. We have time to figure that out. Now, if you're wanting them to do something they haven't said they would do and haven't agreed to in writing, yes, you need to take that seriously and back out during due diligence if that's a problem for you. Again, comment below, ask questions below. Please invite anyone you think would benefit from the group, would bring wisdom to the group. That's what we're trying to collect here, wisdom that we can all learn from, including myself. So please invite people to the group, tag someone in the comments you think would benefit from this video, or have things to share about this video. Again, my name is Zeno Lancaster, at Lancaster Law Firm on Instagram, at flying_casual on Instagram. We have Facebook pages for myself, the law firm. Please invite again, and we'll be on YouTube soon. So I'm pretty excited about that. We'll be sharing all about that shortly, hopefully in early 2022, I think, is the plan after the holidays, after I get some sleep. So have a great week. Be kind to each other. Thanks, Josh. Trying my best to bring and share some wisdom to everyone. Hi, Alex. How you doing? Hi, Renee. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and has an amazing holiday season, whether it's Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating. If it's, what do they call it? Festivus for the rest of us. whatever you're celebrating, be nice to each other. Stop and be appreciative of what you have. Do something nice for someone else. Do something selfless. It will make the holidays very special. Sometimes we get busy and forget to do that, even though we're totally about doing that. It just goes by and we haven't really done anything like that. Make it happen. It'll be the best gift you give yourself, much less those people. Okay? Take care. Have a great one, guys. I'll see you on Wednesday for the next live. See ya.